How you doing, guys? I am loving this coffee. I drink coffee black, so I like my coffee to have full flavor and a full-bodied coffee. Mike and Kim, thank you very much. This stuff is awesome. Since I drink my coffee black, once you start drinking it black, you can never put anything in it again. See, like everybody else, I used to put cream and sugar in it, and over the years, little by little, I did away with all that stuff. And I got used to the flavor of the coffee. And once you get used to that, no, you can't put anything in it because now you like the flavor of the coffee. I never liked to mask it. And I noticed one of the toughest things to order out, or over somebody's house for that matter, is black coffee. Because somehow somebody is going to put something in it. You go to a coffee shop. What do? They ask you what you want in your coffee. And I say the same thing all the time. Just black for me. Never fails. I'll take the coffee in. Somebody either put sugar or cream in it. And I says, no, black. I'll get another coffee. Still not quite right. And I would explain to them, it's the simplest thing in the world to do. Pour it and give it. But it happens every time I go out for coffee. I prefer having coffee at the house. That way I know what I'm getting. When I was a young kid, I assumed that everybody that came over the house was coming over for coffee. Basically, because everybody that came over, my mother would get the percolator going and they'd have coffee. So that's the way it was for years. Even when I had my own place, same thing. Somebody would come over, I would get the coffee going. We had coffee makers by that time. I miss the old percolators though. I'd get the coffee going. And more often than not, I was the only one drinking it. There's funny things, how some things stick with you your entire life. The unfortunate thing is negativity can also stay with you your whole life. I have a lot of regrets. I did not have a happy upbringing. My dad and I did not get along. And over the years, we realized a little bit too late. My dad has regrets by the way he had raised me. And I had regrets. We found out pretty quickly you can't play catch up and you can't go back and do it over. I don't hold any grudges against my dad. He admitted a lot of his mistakes. And like I said, he learned from them because he's great with the grandkids now. Unfortunately, I found out also his father was mean as a Wolverine. I didn't know his father too well. I knew my grandparents on my mother's side very well, very happy people. My grandparents on my father's side, very negative people. Very dark atmosphere. But my grandfather was mean as a Wolverine, and he went to his deathbed like that. My father realized where he was going, and he changed direction. He was basically a nice guy, but a lot of frustrations. And he took a lot of it out on me. And I found out at a young age, I was getting to be the same way. I was terrible with my wife. We did not get along. And I learned a lot from my dad. I could cut you down with my tongue. And I realized after all that was said and done, it's not the way I want to be. I do not want to be this person. I did not want to be the way my father was. I didn't want to be the way my grandfather was. So I figure, let's stop it here and now. It took me a lot of years to change that. A lot of years. Sorry guys, just got a message. Well, over the years, I got very, very patient. I still have a temper. I've always had a bad temper. That runs in the family. But now, the difference is before I speak, I think. I did not want to hand down to any offspring the things that were handed down to me. And for the most part, these are traditions. Now, traditions can be a positive thing. They can also be a negative thing. And unfortunately, a lot of people hand down negativity as well. Now, I have a lot of regrets that my dad and I did not get along. I knew a lot of kids that had great rapport with their dads. I did not have one. I wish I did. That was new ground to me. So, but I knew one thing, I did not want to end up like that. Guys, I got to get some more coffee. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, guys. I really got to get a bigger cup. This really doesn't hold that much. Now, where was I? Thing is, things stay with you your entire life, both positive and negative. And unfortunately, we all have triggers. Now, there are certain things you cannot say to me that will not set me off. That's why I keep a lot of it to myself. Certain words, certain type of attitudes will set me off. And I had one employer that triggered me on a daily basis. And more often than not, we'd end up by the end of the week coming to fisticuffs. Now I notice this with Jehovah's Witnesses. The things they hand down. Now, one thing that is just god-awful to hand down is fear. Because fear is a hard thing to fight off. We all have phobias. We're all afraid of something. But a lot of times we get over them. Now, we all know, Watchtower, how the indoctrination with Jehovah's Witnesses goes. It's all fear-based. And the thing is, they all fear Armageddon. They all fear each other. They fear their elders. They fear Watchtower. And one of the things Jehovah's Witnesses don't realize is you're feeding this to your kids. Look at some of the Bible stories. In all honesty, do kids really need to hear that at such a young age? Any JW would tell you yes, but in all honesty, no. There are some things that I would just not tell a kid. Now, when you get the Watchtower version of it, it's even worse. Look at the book of Bible stories from the JWs. That is something that I would never give to a kid. And we've all seen it. We all know that. But the fear instilled in them, let's face it, when you're a kid, you get scared a lot more than when you're older. Think about it, especially if you were raised in the organization. Think about how you felt when you were a kid. Think about the nightmares. Think about the fear of Armageddon. Think about the fear of not making it into paradise earth. Do you really want to feed this to your kids? Especially in the back of your mind, if you're starting to wake up and you're starting to realize this is bullshit. This isn't real. This isn't true. This is a lie. You may be a PMO, but you're still in. But your kids are still being fed this information. Do you really want them growing up with that kind of fear? Because the thing is, at that young age, it's going to make more of an impression. Things that they will never be able to shake. And for that matter, we all know about the child sexual abuse problem in the organization. Do you really feel safe with your kids there? Granted, the responsibility is on the parents to protect your kids. But what if they're out in service? What if you're looking the other way? How fast things can happen. And how would you feel if one of your kids was touched inappropriately by an elder or somebody else in the congregation and you were told to keep quiet about it, or threatened with disfellowshipping yourself and shunned because you chose to go to the police? Granted, the governing body will come out and tell you, we can't tell you not to go to the police, but you know full well behind closed doors that things are very different. There are just some things to take into consideration. If you're starting to wake up and realize that you've been spoon-fed damaging information your entire life, why would you let your kids be spoon-fed the same thing? The thing is, every Jehovah's Witness is taught to walk around with blinders on. It's like tunnel vision. You cannot go through life with blinders on. Somebody's going to hit you, you're not going to see it coming. Open your eyes. Give your kids half a chance. Because the thing is, this world, as we all know, is not kid-friendly. Kids are the easiest victims on the face of the planet. Give them a chance. Teach them what's what. Don't teach them what Watchtower wants them to know. Because what they're going to do is they're going to create drones that know nothing. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much all I've got. I've got to head out for a while, and I hope you have a good week. I'll be talking to you soon.